Kalt in, and welcome to Pandora.
For the past decade, there has been one book that has defined the Avatar universe and encapsulated all of its lore and history, that being the Activist Survival Guide. But that's all about to change. Or is it? Please excuse me for this impromptu and unscripted video. However, I just received something very interesting in the mail, and I wanted to go for it and give my first impressions. There'll be sure to be a longer review in the next few days, where I dive into it, but let's see what's inside. So here it is, The World of Avatar, a visual exploration. We've been waiting a long time for this book, and I'm very happy to see it and finally have it in person. To start with, the front cover is just as beautiful as early shots showed of. Now, it has changed a lot in the time. The very first picture we were shown was not of this front cover, but I still believe it helps to encapsulate the universe and is a really lovely way to help those who don't know much about Avatar understand what the book's about. So let's quickly have a look through and see how this holds up to the Activist Survival Guide. A beautiful piece of art on the front cover. It looks like a concept piece from the first film, followed by a beautiful screenshot from the film of Neytiri riding an Ikran. On the next page we also get another shot of the film, this time the Hallelujah Mountains. Now this is where it gets very interesting. We actually finally get to see the contents of the book for the first time, and from the looks of it, it's split into several chapters. We first talk about the flora of Pandora, then the fauna, then we have a whole section on the Na'vi. We get to learn about the clans of the Na'vi, which should be an interesting read. We get the sacred sites, we then get the RDA, and then finally we get New Beginnings. However, in more recent solicitations, that was removed, so it'd be interesting to see if there is any reference to Avatar 2 in the book. To start with the book, you have this beautiful screenshot from the film, as well as a foreword from Zoe Saldana. And not only to top that off, we also have an introduction by John Landau, which again should be an interesting read. So for me, one of the most interesting pages that I've found so far has to be this. It's a page within the third section of the book, in which it talks about the fauna of Pandora. And not only do we get, obviously, the hexapede and the stern beast that have appeared in the film and other material around, but we also get a look at the slinger and the slimph, which up until now have only really appeared in the Survivalist Handbook, and the slimph has never been depicted in anything as far as I'm aware. So it's wonderful to see it here get this brand new 3D render and a look at how it actually looks. Again, following on from that, we then have this next page in which we're given not only some new renders of creatures that we already know, but also some brand new creatures such as this here, which is the Great Ostropede, which I believe is in the upcoming video game Avatar Reckoning. Now this is a beautiful page, not only because of that lovely size comparison between the aerial creatures on Pandora, but also because of the Hellfire Wasp section that you see, and also the Shimmy Fly, which are two very obscure creatures in the Avatar universe. The Hellfire Wasp did briefly appear in the film, as did the Shimmy Fly as an ornament that the Na'vi wore, but it's brilliant to see them get much more love. Even better is the fact that the next page is all to do with aquatic life. Now, for me, this is very interesting because most of this aquatic life that you're seeing on this page only exists in Pandora, the world of Avatar at Disney's Animal Kingdom, which is fantastic to see. Most of these creatures you can see on the Flight of Passage, or you can see around the park as real props that you can encounter in the Animal Kingdom. Now, another page that caught my eye was this. This talks about the other clans outside of the Ilmatic Island, which is wonderful, as despite several of these clans appearing in the film, most of the artwork, from what I believe on this page, is new renders that were created for this book, which shows off members of those clans, and it continues onto the next page, which I'll show. Once again, we have these new renders for each of these clans, and it's brilliant to see. So I'm looking forward to reading this and to see how much new lore we get about these different clans. Something that I have to give credit for in this book is the inclusion of assets and pieces of the universe from outside the film, such as these two down here, the liquid environment transport and the ground assault vehicle. Both of these appeared in the Avatar game, the Xbox 360, PS3 and PC version. So it's lovely to see them in here get their own universe entry, and I shall be having a look to see how much new information we get from that. Now then, I think this page has settled my fears about this book having any content to do with Avatar 2, as the whole chapter is entitled New Beginnings. And while I'm not going to show off much of this in this video, because ideally I'd love you guys to go out and get the book and support this book because it's wonderful, and seeing more new Avatar pieces of fiction be released, even after all this time and in the run-up to Avatar 2, we should just continue to support as a community. So at 125 pages, that's excluding the index at the back, from my initial impressions of the book, I'm very pleased and very happy, and looking forward to delving into this and seeing how much new lore there is for the universe. And you can expect a video very soon where I'll be breaking this down and my full in-depth thoughts and reviews on the book and how it compares to the Activist Survival Guide. Expect that in the channel in the next couple of days. But for now, I would highly recommend that any fan of Avatar pick this up, because it's a brilliantly presented look into the universe of Avatar. It pulls together sources from all different aspects of the universe and lays it out in a very cohesive way. And obviously, in terms of how much new information there is in this, that's something I will get to as I dive deeper into the book, but for now I just wanted to give my initial thoughts and impressions on the book upon receiving it. So thank you everyone for watching this very unscripted and very impromptu video. I hope you enjoy this. It's not the kind of thing I normally do, but this is an exception given how important this book is to the Avatar community, and especially for the lore of the Avatar community, which is something I focus a lot on this channel. So thank you again for watching this video. What do you think of this book? Have you picked it up? If so, I'd love to hear what you think down in the comments below.
But until then, hej Alvai, Giavami.